Spider-Man story just works better as a series. The first two episodes of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man just dropped on Disney Plus, and it was delightful. So let's talk about it. And spoilers if you aren't up to date with Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Episode 1 starts with Peter's origin, but then it skips over the montage of him having to learn his powers, which I very much appreciated. Also, Uncle Ben is already dead, which is fine with me. I personally like when stories explore different ways that Peter can feel that helplessness of not being able to save everyone. Even Strange is actually part of Peter's origin. I'm certain that that's going to be important, especially since the first thing he says when he comes out of that portal is, "I'm not supposed to be here." Peter's best friend in this show is Nico from Runaways, which is an interesting choice. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen with all of this. We also get a brief introduction to Harry Osborn. They're not best friends yet, but it's clear from Peter saving his life that's going to come back later, especially since Peter's now working for his father. Black people on this show are so compelling. Johnny Lincoln, who's actually Tombstone in the comic books, has such an interesting story, and I want to know where it goes. Because when we're introduced to him, he's such a stand-up guy. He's not just a star athlete and a smart man. He's also passionate, considerate, a pillar in his family. And he's from Harlem. Coleman Domingo playing Norman Osborn is such a great choice. His performance is so dynamic. It seems like from the little bit that we get from him that he's going to play the Tony Stark character in this story, because this story definitely parallels the one we know from the MCU. And although I know that he's supposed to be Green Goblin eventually, I want to believe that maybe in this iteration he's not, and that he could potentially be exposed for being a villain in the way that Nico mentioned, because she's right, you can't be an ethical billionaire. Dr. Connors also made an appearance. There's not much I could say about her character except for that she's close with Peter. The amount of Easter eggs they littered through these two episodes is insane. I'm such a huge fan of Amadeus Cho, and they nail his character. He's such an asshole. I love it. I also have to say that I was a little worried when I first heard Pasha speak, but then when I heard she was from Wakanda, I let that accent go, because it's a fake African accent. It doesn't have to be accurate to anything. This episode was a great foundation. It was able to properly convey what this version of New York is. You get to see Peter's dynamic with everyone he's interacting with, and seeing those relationships sets up character arcs that I'm excited for them to explore. I also love the art style. It's like one step above a motion comic. The frame rate is still low, but just the way it's drawn and it's animated, which I think is pretty cool. There are actual scenes where the characters move from panel to panel, reminding us that this is a comic book at the end of the day. I loved it, and I thought it was a great start. 4 out of 5 Frankie Flames.